I say, I want the knife. 10 points. You could tell me what movie that is from. I am Caleb Jones. Sounds like I'm about to say, I am Cornholio. I am Caleb Jones. And this is Alpha Male 2.0, freedom-focused lifestyle design for men. Location-independent income through a location-independent business that sets you free from your bullshit 9-to-5 job or gigs. Dating multiple attractive women long-term with no lying, cheating, or drama. The greatest lifestyle a man can experience in the collapsing era in which we live. If you prefer the audio version of this, the audio version of this is a podcast, is at, where is it? alphamale20.com/podcast. If you're listening to the podcast and you prefer the video version of this, that's on YouTube and I think Facebook. If I haven't been banned again. Have I been banned again? I don't even know. Clearly, I don't care. Today's topic is one that you guys ask a lot about. Matter of fact, this is one of the most consistent questions I get. I've been talking about dating and or relationship management for men for 15 years now on the internet. And this is one of the most consistent questions I get. How do I manage both my business life while I'm dating 2, 3, 4 women? How do I make that work? How do I make the business life work and make my woman life work at the same time? How do I integrate those two things? What if I have an OLTR? What if I have kids? What if I have like 6 FBs? How do I make all that work? Discuss all that today. Cool? Cool. All right. I'm going to be clearing my throat a lot because I just ate some spicy food, which is a bad idea to do right before a live stream, Caleb Jones. Don't do that, Caleb. Don't be a moron. Real quick, as people coming in here, what's my microphone? Let's fix that a little bit. I saw comedian Bobby Lee on a podcast a week or two ago, and he said something that really made me laugh. A, he's funny, and B, he's such a beta. It's funny to listen to his beta male stuff. I said, oh yeah, I remember that when I was a beta. But he said something about women that I made me laugh because he's exactly right. This is exactly right. And most men are not going to know or have a context for what he said, but I do because I've kind of been around the block. And so he was on this podcast, these 2 women, and they said, well, what are you looking for in a woman? Because he's single, because his girlfriend broke up with him. And a lot of you know his whole story. Anyway, if you don't know, Bobby Lee is this short, chubby, little Korean, Asian-looking dude. He's very funny. He's very good comedian. He's on podcasts all over the place. And he said, you know what? I think I'm done with white girls. They said, oh, really? Why is that? And he thought about it for a minute. White girls as opposed to Asian girls. And he said something profound, and this is accurate. He said, white girls, when they're served something, some food, and they don't know what it is, they ask, what is that before they eat it? Asian girls, when they're served something and they don't know what it is, doesn't matter if it's a house, restaurant, whatever, they'll eat it. And then when they're done eating, they'll say, what, if they don't like it, they'll say, what was that? And that's so funny because that is exactly right. I've dated a lot of white girls. I've dated a lot of Asian girls. That is exactly right. And so he gives this example. I was laughing the whole time because he's right. You're like, you're out with a white girl and you go to some weird Asian restaurant. And they serve her some weird stuff. And she goes, I'm like, oh, what is that? What? And then she backs away from the plate. That's how white girls do it. Yeah. What is that? And he says, like, well, it's sauteed, something like something gross. Like, it's sauteed butterfly wings. Just eat it. And they're like, oh my God, no. Whereas the Asian girl will get it and she'll like, all right, she'll just eat it. She'll eat the whole damn thing. You know, the whole goddamn thing. These little Asian girls, they put away that fucking food. She'll put it away and she goes, and they'll go, so what was that? And then he'll say, that was sauteed butterfly wings. And the Asian girl will say, oh yeah, my grandma makes it better. That's so funny. There are Asian girls from certain cultures, certain Southeast Asian cultures, they eat with their hands. These pretty feminine little girls, and they don't use a fork or a knife. They just eat with their hands because that's their culture. Yeah, really cute. He's telling you stories. I'm just going, yep, that's it. Yep, that's exactly right. Yep. It's been a long time since I've dated an Asian girl. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a long time because I went through a phase. that lasted about 5 years where I was with a lot of Asian girls. I think I got it out of my system. But Asian girls is one of those things where I think I've mentioned this before, where I was never attracted to Asian women ever before till I met one through another girl. I think this is probably the first time I did referral game. And she had big boobs. Asian girls don't have big boobs, but she did. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I should try this. And we had sex, and it was great. It was fantastic. You guys know, you guys have had sex with, I don't mean an Asian girl born and raised in the United States, the UK, or Australia. No, a real Asian girl. It's amazing. And it's like, all right. So then that day forward, I'm looking at Asian girls like, oh, yeah. As long as they have curves. I like big ass and big butts. Asian girls don't really have that. But when you see them and they have that, but it's been a long time. All right. Let's handle a few quick questions, and then I will get to our topic. When you first started online dating, were you on it every day? Yes, I was. Since I began in 19, I had a few ONSs, but still working on getting FBs and MLTR. Tried many pro photos. Should I just focus on my financial life and save up one-on-one to do coaching with you? I'm considering day game, but as a very busy introvert, it does not appeal to me as much as online dating. You will not like day game if you're an introvert. Sorry, you won't. You just won't. You won't. I wouldn't recommend it. You're having sex, but you're not getting FBs or MLTRs. The problem isn't your photos. You're focused the complete wrong area. I'm getting laid, but I'm not getting any FBs or MLTR. Well, then that's not your photos. That's not your problem. Your problem is what you're doing on the first date, second date. ONS, one night stands. Are you trying to fuck women on the first date? There's your problem. It's not what I teach. If you want long-term relationships, you can't fuck them on the first date. They'll ghost you. Right players, right pickup artists. Talked to a lot of you. That's your problem. Second date, then it's okay. I'm guessing, but based on what you said. What is a good rule of thumb for time to dedicate per week to finding prospecting dating partners? We're going to address that. Well, actually, we're not going to address that today. We're talking about relationships today. Well, I guess we should address that a little bit, shouldn't we? 3 nights, minimum 3 nights a week. And when I say nights, I mean a block of 3 to 4 hours. Minimum 3, 4 is better. So Monday night, 3 or 4 hours. Wednesday night, 3 or 4 hours. Saturday, 3 or 4 hours. Minimum. More is better. How to manage time while having long sex sessions. You guys are asking the questions about the topic. This is good. How to manage time while having long sex sessions several times a week. 4+ hours, 5 times a week on average. There's no answer to that. If that's what you like, why is it so long? If the answer is because that's exactly what I like, then you need to integrate that into your life as best as you can by planning out your week. If the answer is, well, they talk a lot and then this happens, well, then you're being a pussy. You need to set the agenda, set the frame. So it depends on why it's taking 4 hours. If you like that, then you make it right. If you don't like it, then suck it up. Most of my FBs throughout the last 17 years, they're in and out. We sit down, we talk for 10 minutes, we have sex, she's out or I'm out. Most of my FBs, the vast majority, not all of them, but the majority of the FBs I've had over the past 17 years. How much should I dedicate to weekly, daily planning for your business life? You know what? Let's just get into the topic because you guys are asking all the right questions here. You guys we're like simpatico today. This is great. If I don't answer that question, remind me in the chat because we're going to discuss that. How do you do this? How do you manage time with your business life and your woman life? So I am one of the ultimate examples of this. I started out in 2007 as converting from beta male to alpha male 2.0. Started from zero in terms of my woman life. I was a divorced, 10 years out of practice, overweight, beta male dad, 35 years old. Didn't know what the hell I was doing. Within 2 years, I was a dating guru level guy teaching other guys because I was doing so well. Today, I live a woman life that is equivalent to a rock star, and I mean that literally. My dating life today is the equivalent of like an A-list celebrity like Brad Pitt. Better than Brad Pitt because those guys get monogamous and I don't. And I mean that literally. Now, at the same time, I've built several companies, and today I make 7 figures. So I was able to do both these things at the same time. Now, excuse me. The core skill behind all that, as I've talked about 10,000 times, because this is what I was doing for a living for quite a while when I started this as a consultant, is time management. Time management is what I call a leverage skill. That means when you master time management, or you don't have to master it, you get decent at it, it positively affects all the other areas of your life, all the SLA, the 7 life areas I talk about in my books. So it benefits your health and fitness. It benefits your finances. It benefits your woman life. It benefits your spiritual life if you have one. It benefits everything. Whereas dating skills benefit your dating life and maybe some of your business life, and that's it, right? So time management, one of those skills you have to learn. And if you're a spastic extrovert, it's going to be harder for you to learn this. You're going to have to learn it. Sorry. Some introverts have a problem with this too. So because I was good at time management, I was able to make all this work. If I was bad at time management, I would have been the typical pickup artist back in the pickup artist days, which is the world I came out of, where they banged a lot of girls, but they made no money. They were on welfare and lived on friends' couches. And, if the few guys who made money got into lawsuits all the times because they didn't know how to manage their time. Okay. So step 1 of this process is you have to manage the basics of time management. Now, this is not a podcast on time management. I've discussed that on several podcasts in the past. Go ahead and take a look. I have a mini course. If you go to store.calebjones.com, I have a mini course called Time Management for the Alpha Male 2.0. Strongly suggest that. Okay. But I'm going to give you the core basics of time management that apply to both woman life and business life, how you integrate both these things. Hang on a second. As I mentioned, I just ate some spicy food, and so my throat's all fucked up. Hang on. Ooh, that's good water. I love water so much. I'm so glad I like water. These guys who hate drinking water, I feel sorry for you guys. Damn. Hang on. Okay. I'll have to do that a few more times as I go on. All right. So step 1. These aren't really steps, numbered steps. I don't have slides today because I know this like the back of my hand. Step 1, in my opinion, the basis around all time management is planning your week. In my book, The Unchained Man, new version comes out, I hope, next week. There's been some delays at Amazon and the publisher and Audible. I'm just waiting patiently. As soon as these fuckers get their shit together, I can release this book to you guys. I talk about the E3D system where you plan every 3 days. Every 3 days, you sit down for about 45 minutes and you plan the next 3 days. Great. That's one model that works. Some guys prefer to plan their entire week. That's what I do. Between 3 and 7 days, you have a regular planning session. So what I do, and I've done for many years, is that usually on Sunday, I plan out my entire week. It is a procedure that takes me in an hour. Now, an hour, my life is way more complicated than yours, trust me. So you won't need an hour. It might take you half an hour, 20 minutes. Might some of you 40 minutes. If you have a complex lifestyle like I do, if you're dating multiple women all the time, you're traveling the world, you run 3 companies, it might take you an hour, hour and a half. Well worth it. That's the best hour I spend in the week. One of the best hours. I spend a lot of good hours. And I map out the entire week. When I do my immersion thing, my immersion event in November, www.caleb.top/shadow, if you want to join us for that. A whole pile of you just signed up yesterday or the day before. All one day. I don't know what happened. If you sign up for that, I'm going to go through exactly what I do. I'm going to point the camera at my screen. I'm going to go through the entire process with you guys because it's going to take about an hour to go through it all. I go through everything. But anyway, I plan out my week. Well, Caleb, how exactly do you do that? Can't go over the entire procedure right now. Here's the bottom line. You plan out what things need to get done this week, the coming week, next 7 days or 3 days or 4 days, whatever you want to do. I'm going to talk about a week for now, but it could be E3D. What things need to be done to do items, what projects I need to make progress on, and then what appointments do I need to make? Now, under appointments on that umbrella is your women. How many women do I need to see this week? Who are they? Which ones? I do all this. I got a lot of women in my life, always have. Less now than before, but I still have quite a bit. Who do I want to see this week? How long do I want to see each one of them? Which ones? When are they available? When am I available? And you figure it all out. You map it all out for the week. Then you block out times you spend working on your projects, hopefully your IW project. I talk about SW and IW. You don't know what that means? SW is standard work. It's the work that you have to do in your business that doesn't make you any money, but you have to do it. Like check your fucking email, balance your fucking books, talk to your accountant. These things do not make you money. They suck, but you got to do them or else you're in big trouble. That's SW. IW are things you don't need to do, but increase your income. That's called improvement work. So hopefully a lot of improvement work you're doing throughout the week. Okay. Then if you're prospecting for new women, if you're doing online game, day game, night game, social circle game, sugar daddy game, or referral game, my invention referral game, which is my favorite, you got to plan that out. And someone just asked, what's the minimum amount of time do I need to spend per week to bring in new women in my life? Here's the default answer is 3 blocks of time per week, 3 to 4 hour blocks times 3. So what you could do is Monday night after work, 3 or 4 hours. That'd be, if it's online dating, it's swiping and communicating and updating your photos, all that shit, scheduling dates, going on dates. If it's day game, going out, meeting women, right? If it's night game, I don't know. I don't do night game. Okay, whatever you got to do. Monday night, a few hours. Wednesday night, a few hours. Saturday afternoon, a few hours. That's minimum. If you're hardcore serious, you should do it 4 or 5 nights a week, which is what I did when I was in hardcore dating mode, which I haven't been in several years now. I don't need to have a big roster now. So you plug that in as appointments with yourself, in addition to the women you're seeing, in addition to your work. Caleb, I don't have all this time. Yes, you do. Yeah, you do. Now, if you have, well, Caleb, I have a full-time job. That's a problem. As I've been screaming at you guys for about 15 fucking years, you shouldn't have a 9-to-5 job. If you still have a 9-to-5 job, you're not following my advice. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Start your Alpha 2.0 fucking business. Get your income in that business to at least 40% of your job salary. Then you can quit your goddamn job and then set your own schedule like the rest of us real alpha male 2.0s. Get that fucking done. So that's right. If you're working on your job plus a business on the side, like you're a business builder or you're building your own business on the side, you got to factor that in there too. I don't have time. Yes, you do. I did. How come I did and you didn't? I did. You do. Yes, you do. The reason you don't have time, you big beta male puss, is you're spending too much time on the usual modern day, herbivore man, beta male bullshit. Watching streaming shit on streaming, smoking weed, jerking off to porn, bitching about politics, you Americans. You're doing all that stupid crap. Stop doing that shit. Playing video games. Stop doing that stuff. I did. I stopped because I wanted to be with smoking hot girls and I wanted to make a lot of money. It's worth it. Trust me. Having sex with multiple 10s is way better than any fucking video game you can ever come up with in your entire life. I promise. You don't believe me? Go do it. Get to work and you'll find out. Some of you have already done this. You know what I'm talking about. It's awesome. That's my video game. Way better. Way better than watching porn, too. I still remember the first time, many years ago now, I was having sex with a new woman. She's a sweetheart. She was so sweet. We're on my floor in my living room. This is back in the United States. And we're having sex. I'm looking at her. It's the middle of the day, so it's bright light. And I'm looking down at her, and I'm like, oh, my God, this looks just like a porn. Now, not Pornhub. Today's porn's disgusting. Real porn, like 90s porn, where the women were actually hot and had big tits and, okay, right? I'm like, this is literally, I'm living a porn right now. She looks just like a porn star in all the right ways. And I'm experiencing this. This is way better than porn. Oh, my God. And that was a long time ago. Say that's a norm in my life. Let's see. What else we talk about? Planning your week. Then, so planning your week. Phase 1, phase 2. And again, if you do my immersion thing, I'm going to show you what I do. I do this every night. Every night I sit down and I plan out the next day. Now, fortunately, that doesn't take very long. It takes me about 10 to 15 minutes, not long. And what I do, you can use any system you want. I'm a hardcore asshole about this. So what I do is I plan out the entire day, what I'm going to do when. I block off my times. I look at my weekly calendar, drop into a daily spreadsheet that I just override every day. I put in my appointments first. I put in my non-negotiables, which for me are exercise, meditation, and stretching. Okay, put those in. Okay, put in my appointments. Then I put in my work. And then if I have any time, I put in my women unless they're already pre-scheduled. I prioritize work over women, but that's me. You don't have to do that if you're focusing on women right now. It's fine. Depends what you're prioritizing. And it's okay to prioritize one or the other. Many of you should. Okay. So planning the week, planning the day Night before, really important. I'm so hardcore about this. I don't recommend this to normal humans, so most of you shouldn't do this. I actually go through and block off each block of my day. Then I put alarms in my phone. I'm looking right at my phone as I record this. And every new block, the alarm goes off. So it's ding, ding, ding. And I look at it, says time to work, 90 minutes. Ding, 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 time to meditate. Then I meditate, I get up, and then the phone goes up, ding, 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 time to exercise. I'm like, okay, I don't want me to determine my schedule. I want my schedule to determine my schedule. Huge billionaires, CEOs of major corporations, heads of state, the most powerful, wealthy, successful men in society do not wake up in the morning and then sit down at the computer and say, what do I do right now? What should I work on? Oh, let's check my email. Oh, wow, I got to do all this. Look at all this fucking. That's not how they work. The way they work is, usually not always, they come into the office, or if they work from home, they have a little assistant who walks over and she says, okay, at 8 o'clock, you're going to do this. You're going to do that till 8:45. At 8:45, you're meeting this person. And then 11:45, you're going to go here. And they're like, okay, they're just robots who follow the schedule. That's how you want to make that work as best as you can. Those of you who want to make the big money, those percentages, and there's a big hunk of you out there who want this. If you want to make 6 figures or 7 figures or God forbid 8 figures, that's what you need to start thinking about. Robotic schedule. And then, yes, put your women in the robotic schedule. I saw one of my women today, but she was in the schedule. She actually called and said, can I come 45 minutes early? Because I finished my piano lesson. I'm like, all right. So I had to move shit. It's fine. It's fine. I'll be perfect about this, but it all works. Okay. So weekly planning, then daily planning the night before. So weekly planning once a week. You schedule these sessions in. So I have a night routine, and the phone goes off, night routine, ding, ding, ding. And I gotta do my night routine. I have a whole routine with I do my skincare shit because I'm old. And then I have to do my plan the next day stuff. Okay. You have to put this in your schedule so you do it. Now, I want to repeat this one more time and I'll move on to the next piece. You may have to cancel shit out of your life that you don't want to cancel. Let me give you the list again. Porn, Netflix, weed, video games, political shit on the internet. That's just for Americans. Americans are psycho about this. You may have to get rid of that shit, which you should anyway. I've already talked about paleo-compatible dopamine, that whole series of podcasts I did on this channel, this podcast. I suggest you watch those again or listen to those again. You should pull that shit out of your life anyway. That shit is destroying you. It's destroyed the Western world. It's destroying you. Topic for another time. But I'm saying you may have to get rid of that shit. I've talked about this. In 2018, I had to give up video games. And I've been playing video games since the early 1980s, which is before most of you listening to the sound of my voice were born. I'm a bigger video game nerd than the vast majority of you. And I had to give it up. Because it's like, do I want video games or I want my 7-figure empire and all my smoking hot 10s? Well, I guess I want my empire and my 10s. I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. I love my video games and I still miss them. I would love to finish Pillars of Eternity too. I got bigger fish to fry. And then I'll get around to it in about 2 more years. So, you don't get this stuff up forever. But be aware of this. Okay? Now, next thing. Here's how I handled this. I'm going to give you different scenarios now. Some of you guys have kids. Some of you don't have kids. Some of you guys have OLTR girlfriends. Some of you guys are single and just banging FBs. Some of you guys are married with OLTR wife. Some of you guys aren't. Some of you guys aren't getting laid at all. You need to get some pussy. All these different scenarios. I'm going to give you as many scenarios as I can and how to integrate this into your schedule so you make sure you get your work done and your women done. I mean that literally. Do your women every week. Okay. When I had children, and I've talked to this many times. If you follow my content for a long time, you talk to this more back when my kids were little. My kids are grown today. But back when I had kids, I've been doing this for 17 years. What I did, my model was I was divorced, okay, way back then. My son was in high school. My daughter was 8, okay? So my structure for the week was my kids lived with their mom, but I had my daughter every weekend. My son was a teenager in high school. He had his own car, so he came over whenever he felt like it. So that was I saw her. I had my daughter every weekend. And a long weekend. Sometimes it was Friday night to Sunday night. But I had her every weekend, and I had her most of the summer. When she was 15, as I talk about my blogs, teenage girls hate their mothers. They go through a phase they hate their moms. So she went through the same phase. So she moved in with me full time. So my daughter lived with me from age 15 to age 18. For 3 years, she lived with me. So I'll cover that in a minute too. So when my kids are little, here was my model. My model was Monday through Friday night, Monday nights. So week nights was woman time. Weekdays was work time. Weekends was time with my kids, daddy time. That's how I did it. Worked very well. My life's a little more complicated now than it was back then, but I made that work. So during the day, I worked on my businesses. Most of them were location dependent back then. I was making those conversions. Okay. Then at night, I would, go on first dates, second dates, meet up with FBs and MLTRs. Okay. So Monday night through Friday night, unless she was coming over Friday night. Usually I had Friday nights free. Okay. Sometimes I'd see women during the day. The young girls didn't have jobs. That happens sometimes, but usually it was at night. And then my daughter would come over either late Friday night or first thing Saturday morning. And it was no women for the weekend. And I was hanging out with my kids. And when women complained, I said, I got to be with my kids. Women like that. They go, oh, you're a good dad. I really like you now. These guys say, what if I have kids? Should I tell? Yes, tell women you have kids. Women love that shit. Single dads are a turn on. Single moms to a lot of you are a turn off because of red pill. But single dads to women is like, especially if they see that you love your kids and you're a good dad, they're like, oh, and they fantasize having babies with you. Field tested, try it. So that's how I did that for years. Worked very, very well. So you can structure your time like that. Who gets what time when? What if you have an OLTR girlfriend? So when you have an OLTR, the once a week rule is now rescinded. You can now see her more than once a week. FBs and MLTRs, you can only see once a week. Let me back up and talk about that for a second in case you're new to this material. One of the cardinal rules is you can only see a woman once a week, FBs and MLTRs. So that right there limits your time and allows you to see more women. Now, that's not the purpose behind the rule. The purpose behind the rule is it extends the relationship and keeps attraction very high. You want to murder attraction with a girl you like, a girl you're dating right now? See her every day, every fucking day. See her all the time, and eventually she'll get bored with your ass, and you'll never see her again. You see her once a week, she'll love you forever, or at least be attracted to you forever. Okay? So just by following the cardinal rules, it helps these time management systems. Because even when I was seeing at my height of the number of concurrent women I was seeing in one city, this was back around 10-ish, so a while ago, 9 women. Some were MLTRs and some were FBs. I was seeing 9 women. So I was like 2 women a day, 3 women a day. It was a nightmare. It wasn't a nightmare. It was wonderful, but it was something that wasn't sustainable. I didn't do it for very long. But even back then, I followed that model of during the day is my business, at night is my girls, weekends is my kids. And it worked. Worked fine. Girlfriends. So when you have an OLTR, you can see her more than once a week. So you schedule, she gets priority scheduling. So when Pink Firefly, who is now my wife, back when she was an MLTR, and we had the big OLTR talk, and I upgraded her to OLTR, which took a long time, as it should. She got priority over my schedule, priority seating in my schedule. So I sat down once a week. Pink Firefly is the priority woman. She gets priority. When do I see her? I'll see her Monday night and then maybe see her Thursday or whatever, or Monday night or Sunday night or whatever the hell it was. Okay. Then all the other women are scheduled around your OLTR. Your OLTR should be your priority. Okay. If you don't have an OLTR girlfriend, and if you're under 30, you shouldn't. No girlfriends if you're under 30, you idiots. Then your FBs and MLTRs are equal priority. Well, should MLTRs be higher priority? No. MLTRs and FBs are not higher priority. They're both really important. FBs are very, very important to your long-term happiness. I have many of them. I have over 20 of them in about 5 different countries. They're wonderful. And I've had many FBs for decades or more. So they're important. You got to give them time too. It's just that you like your MLTRs more. Okay. So they're both a priority. Also, in terms of time management, FBs take the least amount of time. MLTRs take a lot more time than FBs do. So if you're big on time management right now, you want to focus on your business. A lot of you are kind of in business mode right now. Wonderful. FBs, no MLTRs, and certainly no girlfriends. My God, that'll suck your time. I want to remind you that I did not get an OLTR girlfriend until I was in my mid fucking 40s making a lot of money. I didn't want one before that. I was busy building my empire. I didn't divorce my wife when I was a beta male in 2007 and immediately go get a girlfriend. Stupid. That would have destroyed my financial future. I said, no girlfriends for at least 10 years. I need to build my empire, build my business, FBs, and later I added some MLTRs. No girlfriends. None. I had a girl. That's not true. I had a girlfriend-like woman, high-end MLTR, who I called a girlfriend, HBM. But let's see, I saw her for 5.5 years, but she was only girlfriendish status the latter of those 2 years. And it was a very open relationship. I was hooking up with all of her cute girlfriends. So, justifiable. OLTRs obviously take more time than MLTRs. So that's the hierarchy in terms of time. Time suck. OLTRs take a long time because they're girlfriends. MLTRs take not as much as OLTRs, but a lot more than FBs. FBs take very little. Most of my FBs, I just said this earlier on this podcast, they're in and out. They come over, we talk for 20 minutes. Be friendly. Don't treat them like whores. Even you guys, you older guys doing sugar daddy game and you're paying them, not salt daddy game, but actual sugar daddy game. Even you guys should not just, all right, get over here. Okay, yeah, get out. Fuck, get out. No, talk to them. You want these women to stick around, right? So you need to talk to them, treat them like human beings. You want long-term. Alpha Male 2.0 is about long-term relationships, not one-night stands. That's pickup artist stuff. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not Alpha Male 2.0. We want long-term multiple women so we don't have to spend the rest of our lives going out and getting new women all the fucking time. I barely need to get new women in the last several years. I've done a few because they were famous or something, but that's it. So, all right. Let's see. What else do I say about that? Girlfriends, having kids, FBs, MLTRs, OLTRs. There was another piece of this I wanted to address. I'm doing on time. We're doing great. This might be a shorter one than because this one isn't as super time consuming because it's time management. Oh, okay. Those of you, there aren't very many of you statistically, but there's some of you who are married. You are living with your OLTR wife. I hope it's an OLTR. I hope you're not monogamous. Jesus. All right. So if you're living with your OLTR, how do you manage work then? She's right there. And she's a girl. She'll bug you all the fucking time. Yeah. Yes. That's what wives do. Yes. Even nice ones. Pink Firefly's an angel. Yes. So you have do not disturb time. I talked about this in my book, The Ultimate Open Marriage Manual. To work on your empire while you are married. I want to get, when I say married, I mean you live full time with a woman in a romantic context, even if she's a girlfriend and you're not legally married. I don't care what papers you signed or didn't sign. I don't care what promises you made or didn't make. If you live full time with a woman you're fucking, you're married because you're living the lifestyle of a married man. So if you are married, you need to sit down with your wife, in quotes, or live-in girlfriend, and say, look, here's the deal. And you decide the time. When I did this, it was Pink Firefly's United States right now, but let's see, what was my time frame? I think it was 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. I think that was right. From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., it's do not disturb Caleb, Pink Firefly. I love you, Pink Firefly. I love you. You're wonderful. You're my moon and my stars. But from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., daddy needs to work and make millions of dollars. Don't disturb me. And the rule for her was, this should be the rule for your little sweetheart, you are not allowed to bother me unless someone is bleeding or dying. That's it. Someone better, if you knock on that door and you interrupt my work, if I come out and take a break in ICU, that's okay. I'm making that decision. But if you knock on that door while I'm working, trying to build my empire, and the first thing out of my mouth will be, okay, who's bleeding or who's dying? You better have a good fucking answer. And if you don't have a good answer, we got a problem. And there were one or two scenarios where she didn't have an answer. We had a problem. It's okay. It's fine. Correction is sometimes required. But you need to enforce that. Now, if your first thought is, oh, I can't do that. My wife would never do that. You're a beta male pussy. You have a lot of work to do. Read my books for the love of God. If that was your first thought when I described that, you're not in control. She's in control. She's your boss. You need to be the boss of yourself. You don't need to be the boss of her. That's Alpha Male 1.0. Go watch Andrew Tate if you want to be the boss of women. You need to be the boss of yourself. She can't tell you what to do. And you shouldn't tell her what to do. Let her do whatever the fuck she wants. Now, caveats to this. If your wife is more feminine and emotional, which mine is, Pink Firefly is on the extreme feminine side of the scale and the extreme side of the emotional scale. You need to acknowledge her before 10 a.m. and after 4 p.m. So the way I did this was in the morning, I really tried to acknowledge her. Hey, sweetie. Hey, you're so beautiful. Come here, give me a kiss. Hug her and acknowledge her. Don't say, okay, I got to work, bye. Because as an INTJ robot, that's going to be your default setting. That's me. Okay. So I don't remember. Okay, wait, I have to acknowledge my wife or else she'll be sad. Oh, come here. I love you. Oh, yeah, you're so hot. Okay. I love you. You're so cute. I'm going to fuck the shit out of you tonight. All right, I'm going to go work. Okay. All right. Okay, good. And then you go to work. Okay. Then at 4 p.m., what we would do is we have dinner together. That was our ritual. So again, spending time with her. Okay. Then I would spend an hour with her watching a TV show. I hate watching TV, but that's what she likes. So I did that for her. And then we play Find the Gay Character. Because in the modern woke collapsing era, 100%. So rewind. So in the 80s, when I grew up, there were no gay characters. You never saw them, which I thought was strange because gay people are like 3% of the population. So they should be in some TV shows. You never saw any of them. And if you did, it was a caricature and it was like insulting to gay people. So now we are in the era of left-wing overcorrection. 100% of every show has a prominent gay character. It doesn't matter if it's a sci-fi show, a fantasy show, a history show, a cop show, an action show, a drama, a romance. It doesn't matter what kind of show it is. There's always one gay character in the first or second episode who looks at the camera and says, I'm gay. You better accept me. So I played, let's look for the gay character. How long will it take before they introduce the gay character? 100% of all TV shows, even though only 3% of the population is gay. Anyway, that's what I would do with her. And then I would go back to work. So that's how you handle wife stuff. If someone lives with you, you can do something similar if you have a girlfriend who is a little needy and you don't live with her, but she calls you all the fucking time. You say, look, I need to work, or I need to work. I need to build my business. I need to make tell her whatever goals you got. It's fine. I need to make $1 gazillion to be the next Elon Musk, whatever the fuck you want to do. Okay. So from this to this, I'm not going to respond to your text. Okay. So from 10 a.m. to 4 or whatever, you decide. Some guys just do 2 hours a day. Some guys do 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. It's only 2 hours of do not disturb time. That's fine. Matter of fact, I think that's kind of the standard. I'm a maniac, so I did 10 to 4. Don't care. So you do that. Protect your time. Protect your time. You are in control of your time, not her. I was taught this by one of my mentors, Dan Kennedy. Dan Kennedy said, and he's right, time is the only resource you can't get back. If someone wastes 5 minutes of your time, you can't go make that back. Any other resource is renewable. If you lose money, you can always go make more. I've had several scenarios throughout my life where I lost some money. Guess what? I made it all back. It's fine. If you get divorced or you lose your wife, guess what? You can go get another wife. I did it. She's way better. If you have kids, you can't just replace your kids. If you have kids and they turn out to be assholes, you can, as a man, you can make more kids. Didn't Robert De Niro just impregnate a chick when he was 80? Okay. I'm not recommending that, but you get my point. Anything you can think of, you can do, but not your time. And Dan Kennedy's thing was when someone bothers you, interrupts you, and you're working something, they interrupt you, doesn't matter if your wife, your chief, your boss, someone keying it doesn't matter who the fuck it is. And texting counts as interrupting. Turn off your fucking phone. My phone is silent all day. My phone is almost never turned on with the noise. It's almost silent all day. Whenever someone interrupts you, it's the equivalent of someone, he said, breaking into your house and going through like your underwear drawer and the drawer where you keep all your condoms and your vibrators and your sex toys and going through all that stuff, your most private, or your safe and going through your private files. And it's that intimate a violation. You've got to control your time. Okay. I just remembered the thing I wanted to talk about. Prioritize women who are responsible with your time. And then I'll get to your questions. It took me several years to figure this out. I got some great examples to give. I'll give her in a second. Women who you see who regularly do things like cancel. Oh, sorry. Hey, were we going to get there at 4 o'clock? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I totally spaced it. I'm sorry. I totally forgot. Or, oh, my mom, da-da-da-da-da-da, and my dad, da-da-da-da-da. Or, oh, I'm at work and my boss wants me to da-da-da. Okay, someone who routinely cancels or forgets appointments or is always a half an hour late, you don't get mad. You don't become an alpha male 1.0 and lecture her. But what you do mentally is you're like, all right, you were priority 1 out of my 4 women. Now you're priority 4. You were my favorite girl. Now you're my 4th favorite because you're fucking up my time. Then the women who are the opposite. There are some women, and God, do I love these women so much. I'm in love with these women because it's not most women. It's only a percentage, but oh, they're wonderful. Who prioritize their time. Great, perfect example. As soon as I came back here to Dubai, one of my main people here, we were sitting on my bed. She goes, okay. She pulls out her phone. She pulls out her schedule. She goes, can we schedule like the next 3 weeks of when we see each other? I'm like, oh, I love you. Thank God. That's the kind of woman you want when you're busy, when you're an alpha 2.0 and you're building your business and all that stuff. And we did it. Went through and scheduled appointments and boom. You want more women like that and less women like, you know, hey, what do you want? When are you free next? Oh, I don't know. Well, Wednesday? No, Wednesday I got this. Okay, Thursday, yeah, I guess so. All right, what time? I don't know. And you schedule like 7 p.m. and then 6 p.m. Thursday comes. She's like, oh, I forgot, because she doesn't have a schedule and she just lives in a state of mass chaos all the time. A lot of women do. You don't want women like that. And if you have women like that, put them at the bottom of the barrel. You schedule them last. Those are like your backup. This is how I handle these women. Once I figured all this out, these are your backups to your backup. You have your main women. They're not available. You have your backups. If your backups are available, you have your backups to your backups. That is the pile of women who are like super unreliable. And also, the reason I stopped dating really young women several years ago, I drew a line at around age 24. So I don't like seeing women under age 24, 23, 24. And it's been like that the last few years. Why? Because 18-year-old, 19-year-old girls are a nightmare about this stuff. Are there rare exceptions? Yes. But most of them are just a nightmare about scheduling. They just don't, they're kids. Hooking up with 18-year-old girls was a big fantasy I had way back in my 30s. Then I had sex with a mountain of them and they drove me crazy with their scheduling. And I just said, okay, I drew a line. And so no. So that's the next piece of this, is that you'll know once you see a woman over time, is she, when you schedule appointments with her, does she show up on every appointment without you having to remind her, without her being late? The answer is yes. Awesome. That's who you want to prioritize. Doesn't matter if she's an FB or not. FB, MLTR doesn't matter. And if she's an MLTR and you're kind of thinking about upgrading someone to OLTR, that should be 1 point in her favor. Pink Firefly, she started as an FB for a few years, then MLTR. She was very responsible with her time, mostly because she was already in her 30s. But there are women in their 20s who are responsible with their time. Some. And yes, you tend to get better luck the older they are. So you guys who date women who are 30s, 40s, 50s, they are better, right? They're better with their time than the chicks who are like 19 or 20. So the older she is, the more likely. Although, there are exceptions to that too. There are women who are in their 40s who live mass chaos lives that, So prioritize. So pay attention. I am constantly, just as a habit, now I don't do this purposely, it's now a habit, paying attention to how women manage their time in my life. And I will always, again, I do it subconsciously now, prioritize the ones who have their shit together in terms of their time. By the way, a little secret to this, and this is not just women, this is men too. The people who manage their time the best and respect their time the best are the ones who are the busiest. I know that doesn't make sense, but it's true. Busy people manage their time well. People who don't have a lot of shit to do are the ones who are constantly late for dates and forget appointments and forget this and forget that, and because they have nothing to do. I know it's a paradox, but that really is how it works. I'm extremely busy, but I'm pretty reliable when it comes to my time. If I had nothing to do, I wouldn't care. Same concept as often if you go to a restaurant, you'll get faster service at a restaurant if the restaurant is busy than if you're the only person there and no one's there. They take their sweet ass time because they don't care. Same thing. So this is why I tend to be attracted to busier women. And this is true with me. I don't think all men are like this. Maybe most men are not like this. This is a weird Caleb thing. I tend to get into serious relationships with women who are borderline workaholics, who work really, really hard. So HBM, who was my girlfriend before Pink Firefly, she would work, she worked at a restaurant. She would work 12, 13-hour shifts without taking a break. Several times she would pass out from exhaustion and dehydration because she wasn't drinking. They had to get the ambulance because she was working too hard. I like that. I didn't like that. I'm like, what are you, moron? What are you doing? Take breaks and drink water. But anyway, Pink Firefly, when I met her, had not one job, not two jobs. She was working 3 different jobs. I'm like, awesome. I love hardworking women. I am not a tradcon Christian conservative says women should work and men should. No, fucking bitch. You want equality? Go fucking work. Get up at 6 a.m., go to work and pay your own bills. Awesome. Yes. Love it. So that helps. Busy women, to a degree, tend to be better at managing their time. The problem with busy women is they can't see you as much. So if you're a needy guy, like, I can't spend time with her, you should be focusing on other women, not just her. That should not be relevant unless she's your OLTR. Because your FB or MLTR, you only see once a week anyway. Okay. That's how I've handled it. It's worked pretty well. And again, the key, I'm going to give you the 3 keys. We'll get to your questions. Plan your week. Plan your day every night. Cut out a bunch of shit you're doing now. Porn, Netflix, video games, smoking weed, politics. You may have to cut back on that shit. Sorry, and you should anyway. All right. Okay. Let's deal with your questions. Hang on. Hang on. I gotta drink agua. I'm in Dubai, and I've spent the last 4 months in Paraguay, so I'm still speaking Spanish to people here in Dubai. So they'll say, do you want agua? I'm like, do you want water? Or someone asks me a question, I'll say, sí. They're like, what? I mean, yes. It happens every time. Quality problems. All right. Let's see here. How to handle if you find your LTR is talking shit on you with your friends, address it or detach, could indicate deeper commitment issues. I don't teach LTR. LTR is monogamous. You talk about a monogamous girlfriend? If you have a monogamous girlfriend, I can't give you any advice because none of my advice will work if you're only fucking her. When you say LTR, that implies to me that she's a monogamous girlfriend. I can't help you. You're fucked. If she was an OLTR or MLTR, Alpha Male 2.0 is outcome independent. So don't care. I've had women I dated bitch about me on social media. Do not give a fuck. Don't care. And you shouldn't care either. Move on. Don't worry about it. And if you need to, downgrade her. Instead of OLTR, make her an MLTR. MLTR, if she's an MLTR, make her an FB. Fine. That's okay. But don't say bad things about me on social media. I don't like that. That's Andrew Tate stuff. That's not going to work. She'll just yell at you. How do you soft next over text so the girl knows you're doing it? You don't soft next over text. That's not how soft next work. Do you just ignore for a week? Yeah. You don't answer. Correct. You don't say, I'm soft nexting you. No. You just ignore all texts, phone calls, emails for a week or 5 days or 3 days. 2 to 10 days, depending on the severity of the infraction. Hey, Caleb, I'm currently with 3 women. Good. 1 OLTR, post-talk. Good. Well, OLTRs have to be post-talk. 2 FBs, but I find it hard to spend time with all. Plus, I feel a bit lazy because my OLTR is great and we have sex a lot. Any advice? Everything I just said. I just gave you all the advice you needed. Kudos, Caleb. Your work is on point. I found dating multiple women much better than when none of them live in your home country. I disagree. I have a lot of women who don't live in my home country, but I have a lot of women in my home country. So what do you do when you're in a home country? You don't have any sex? So get 1 or 2, please, in your home country and then have a pile in other countries. I have a mountain of women in let's see, Dubai, UK, USA, Paraguay. Those are my big 4, my biggest groups of women. And I have women in Hong Kong. Why am I forgetting things? Panama, Colombia. I don't have any in Mexico, amazingly. Thai, Filipina often have nice curves. Thai do not. You're incorrect. Filipina do, but Filipina have uglier faces. Trust me, I know all about this. Some Japanese girls are curvy and absolutely beautiful. Some, not most. Those are the rare exceptions to the rule. And I agree, the exceptions to the rule are insane. Japanese women, I've said this, are fucking gorgeous if you don't mind small boobs and small butts. If you don't mind that, Japanese women are some beautiful women in the world. Go to Tokyo, just walk around and be like, oh my God. But small boobs and small ass. Now, if some guys like small boobs, small ass, great. You'll be in heaven there. You argue monogamy is not natural. I don't argue it. That's a fact. That's not an argument. That is a biological fact. 2 + 2 = 4. It's not my opinion. So long-term monogamy is not natural for human beings. Correct. You're not a monogamous creature. Correct. But open relationship is not natural either. Incorrect. I suggest you do some reading on history, including the Bible if you want to read the Bible. I wouldn't. You are absolutely incorrect. Go read history. People were fucking everybody for 7,000 years. You're wrong. So just like monogamy, one should suppress the urge to have multiple partners in open relationship. One should not tolerate the disgust and negative emotions that comes with jealousy. I don't have disgust and negative emotions. My women don't have disgust and negative emotions. You do. That's your problem. That's not humans. That's you. How can I determine if I have a deep spiritual connection with my OLTR wife, similar to you and PF? If you don't know, then you don't. How do I determine if I have a deep spiritual connection to my wife? If you're asking the question, you don't have it. And that's okay. It's okay. It's okay. As long as you love her and she loves you and the drama is low and you're fucking other women. Those are all the ifs. You love her. She loves you. You are putting your penis into other women on a regular basis and the drama from her is low. It's all good. It's fine. I've been with a lot of women. And PF is the only one so far where I have like this deep spiritual, yeah. By ONS, I meant 2 nights of sex spread out over 2 years and just a few. What the hell are you doing? You have sex there, then you wait a year to have sex again? Just a few first dates sprinkled out over many months. Any ideas? Well, I don't understand the first part. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what the hell you're doing. If you're having lots of first dates that don't work, you need to evaluate what you're doing that is not working and turning women off. You need to buy my book, Get to Sex Fast, at gettosexfast.com. It covers first and second date. That's the entire book. First and second date in detail. And I promise you, there's an entire chapter in there of like 22 things to not do on a first date. I have a feeling you're doing several of them. If you're looking at your phone, if you're being too needy, if you're talking too much, if you're not treating the wait staff, I don't know what you're doing. You're doing something. If you got lots of first dates, they don't work out. You're doing something wrong on the first dates. You need to reverse engineer what you're doing wrong. Get that book. You should definitely discuss dating over 50 more often. You're the only guy out there talking about this. I am? I probably am. Most of the audience isn't over 50. Us old guys are a small percentage of this audience. But yes, I will talk about it sometimes. I do. Do you find that putting your honest age on dating apps still gets legit responses or mostly sugar? Legit responses. And some sugar. You get both. Use your age as a DHV, not something to be scared of. If you're scared of how old you are, women won't find that attractive. If you are fucking proud, and thank God, I'm 52. Thank God I'm 52. Now, that's not a joke or a technique. I mean it. I am 50. Thank God I'm 52. The entire time I was in my 20s, I'm like, could I please not be in my 20s? This sucks. Can I please be at least 30 something? I was so happy to turn 30. My 40s was the best decade of my entire life. Amazing. Now I'm in my 50s. It's great. When you got your shit together and you don't look like a pile of shit and you're in your 50s, women are all over you. Trust me. More now today than in ever before in human history, or Western history, I should say. Curious for OLTRs that just like to watch you with FBs. Well, there's just one pink firefly. That's not a typical thing. She's unusual. I just wrote a blog post about this going up next week. Are they just watching or most often pleasing themselves, or is it a mix? You speaking in the plural, I've only met one woman in my entire life like that. That's Pink Firefly. So I'm only going to talk about her. I can't think about plural. This is not a normal thing. This is a weird Pink Firefly thing. The female version of cuckold is cuckween. So she's a cuckween. She likes to watch her man fuck other women right in front of her. No, she does not pleasure herself. Nope. She just gets really horny and tries to contain it. And then as soon as the girl leaves or I drive the girl home and come back, then she can't stand it. And I have to fuck her. And then she's happy. It's great. Done it many times. It's wonderful. If all men want multiple women, I didn't say all men want. Are you the same guy? Okay, so you're wrong. You sound very young to me, Alan Don Saji. You sound very Muslim or Hindu, and you sound very young, like you don't know anything. So you need to do more research on these very dumb, incorrect questions and statements you're making. Not all men want multiple women. They don't. Most do, but a lot of them don't care. Why many guys consider men with high body count is disgusting. Guys who are programmed with religion like you. Trad cons. Brad Pitt cheated, right? I don't know. Did he? Did Brad Pitt cheat on Angelina? I don't think so. I think he just threw fits. Thoughts on getting hot women. Okay, hang on. Did I lose my audio? No. Okay, hang on a second. Beep, 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 beep. I lost my place. The fuck is this? Thoughts on getting hot women names from LinkedIn and messages them on Instagram, as I like attractive women who have careers. I wouldn't try to pioneer some new system. Go with what works. Online dating, Tinder, Bumble, Match.com, the usual bullshit. Instagram to some degree. Instagram is becoming a de facto dating app. Instagram can work if you put in the numbers, do it correctly. I would not try to pioneer a new system unless you have a lot of time in your hands. Can I text a woman or reply to her messages every day before the first date? You shouldn't, but it's okay. If she's over 33, you have to do that. She's under 33, it's all right. It's not ideal. Over 33, you have to. You need a lot of communication with the over 33 women, or else they're going to think you're a player and get nervous. What do you recommend for decreasing penis sensitivity or being able to fuck hard without getting close to coming? I last 30 to 40 minutes and make girls come, but I can't thrust as fast as I want because I'll come. Oh, I don't have expertise in that area. You really should talk to a specialist. My guess is that you're watching too much porn or you have watched too much porn. My guess is, I could be right about this. You can let me know. That's a porn thing or something you're doing, or a masturbation thing. I don't know. You're doing something. Because that's not typical. But porn will do that. Have you ever caught other men checking out your wife while checking out her ass? If so, how did you react? Yes, but it depends on the city that we're in. So in most American cities, American men are pussies and betas. So when they see someone who looks like Pink Firefly, who looks like a Barbie porn star chick, they get nervous and they look, especially if I'm walking next to her. That's the other aspect. I'm a big guy. So when I'm walking and they look away like this. So guys, don't check her out. Certain places, Dubai, Phoenix, Arizona, a few ballsy alpha male guys will check her out a little bit. Yes. Do not care. I feel complimented. If you think the girl I'm with is smoking hot and you're checking her out, that is a win for me. That's a compliment to me. I'm the one fucking her and you just get a look at her. Ha ha. So it's like, hey, don't look at my girl. I don't look. That's Alpha 1.0 Andrew Tate bullshit. Why do you think the hardcore Muslims cover up their women? I don't want other men to look at my wife's boobies. That makes me angry because my ego is very fragile. You shouldn't care. You should feel complimented. Not Pink Firefly. I have been with many women in public where guys are checking them out. Are you kidding? I'm thinking of one right now, years ago. Oh my God. Guys would check her out. And today she's not famous, but she's got a following because of how she looks. This is when she was 18. Yeah. A girl whom I was sleeping with / dating for a few months randomly messaged me asking how I am, despite her getting very upset when I told her I had a girlfriend the whole time we were together. Why would she? That's a dumb question because she's attracted. Women get angry and attracted at the same time. Men think that when women are angry, they're not attracted to me anymore. No. When women are angry at an alpha males because they're attracted, you're not going along with the program. By the way, you're an asshole for doing that. Don't do that ever again. Do not lie to women. If you have a girlfriend, you need to tell them. Don't lead women on. That was your fault. You should feel ashamed of yourself. Don't ever do that again. Don't lie to women. A true Alpha 2.0 never needs to lie to women or hide things from girls. Ever. Ever. That's beta male shit and some alpha male 1.0 shit. Tristan Tate said, my favorite questions, that he just knows if a girl is cheating, like Chef Ramsay will know a good steak if you say that when you demand loyalty, and then you'll need to monitor her to make sure she is not cheating. You say that when you demand loyalty, then you'll need to monitor her. That's what I say? Correct. That's what I say. Is that what you're saying? Anyway, that's just a fun little quote. I don't think he means it literally. I think he's making a quotable TikTok, YouTube Shorts quote so he can get clicks. And yes, if you demand loyalty, you have to spend the rest of your life monitoring all your women to make sure they obey. And when they don't, not if they don't, when they don't follow your rules, because they won't, they're girls, you're going to scream and yell at them. Now you have drama. They're going to scream and yell back at you. Women don't say, oh, yes, master, I'm sorry. We'll do whatever you say. That's not how women behave in the modern era, right? So that kind of model is only for high drama beta male. Beta wouldn't do it, I guess. Alpha male 1.0s. Alpha male 1.0s who don't mind drama. How long does it take to plan each day and each week? About. For me, I answered that already. For me to plan the week, it takes approximately an hour, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. Plan the day takes about 15 minutes. I have a very complicated life. It probably will not take you that long. When it comes to your 3 types of women, does their political view of the world differentiate their behavior? No, and most women aren't political. Women hate it when I say this, but it's statistically true. Do women give a shit about politics? The women you date, they have big, strong political opinions about Trump, other than Trump's an asshole. He's mean. That's not a political opinion. Most women don't have strong political opinions. And the ones that do are the more masculine women who you probably wouldn't date and be fucking. So no, it is extraordinarily rare I am with a woman who has fully formed political opinions. 1 or 2, and they tend to be women over 30. But even them, they don't give a shit. Example, are there differences between a submissive liberal woman from a submissive conservative woman? Oh, I see. No, there's no difference. None. Has nothing to do with it. Best to plan right before bed or earlier. There is no best. It's up to you. I do it at night before bed because I don't want to plan things. If I planned it at 1 p.m., I would get some of the shit done that I would do tomorrow. So it doesn't make sense. So it only makes sense to do it toward the end of the day. You don't do it right before bed. You do it when you're done working. If you're done working at 7, do it at 7 or 6:45. I work all night. So I do it right before bed because I work all day, all night. I have TikTok brain. That's unfortunate. Do you have TikTok brain? No. You should watch my podcast, that 3-series podcast on dopamine, paleo-compatible dopamine. I don't watch TikTok because I don't want it rotting my brain. Meaning I can't focus and I have to think about something else all the time. Go on this channel, Alpha Male 2.0, or the podcasts where I talk about, I forget the names. The last one I did was called Dopamine something. Search on that and watch that. You have that problem. You need that podcast badly. I'm thinking I'll just never finish work for the day ever without having a full plan schedule for the next day. Then you're being irrational and you need to shut your brain up. That's false. True, I finally concealed that crap out of my life to focus on dating and work, and things have gotten so successful so fast. I wish I canceled that crap 10 years ago. Oh, I'm talking about game stuff? Good. Yeah, man. Needs to be done. The danger of our era, other than the fact that you're living in a collapsing civilization, is that you have too many entertainment options. You have too many options. Not all options. You have too many options for starting a business. You have too many options. You go, oh, there's stuff to do. You got Instagram and TikTok and movies and TV shows and porn and video games, and they're all right there on your phone, right there on your computer. You have too many options. And so everything's pulling you toward it. You need to decide what you gravitate toward. How to make building your business fun so you keep at it. You make it into a game. 2 things. You make sure to do things in your business that you enjoy. One of the reasons I started blogging again is because I really like writing. That's what I enjoy doing. So you do things at least partially you enjoy, and then you gamify it. Give yourself a little checkbox. If you do your IW work that day, you get 5 checks in a row. You get to go out and treat yourself to a nice dinner or something. Thoughts on Trump saying he will end double taxation for U.S. citizens living abroad? Yeah, you just saw one Nomad Capitalist video. What have I said about Trump? Is he actually going to do that? No. Stop believing what Trump says. How does it affect your EFA for a first date if you offer to pick up a girl for a first date? Like pick her up with your car. I don't offer unless she says I don't have a car. So I don't offer out of the blue. It doesn't harm or hurt your EFA, but don't offer unless she physically can't get there. There's a thing Russian girls do in the West where they purposely learn to not drive because they want men to drive them around. Okay, fine. But, you know, if she physically can't, or she's young and can't afford a car, very common now as the economy continues to collapse. So that's okay. I've done that. But I don't offer off the bat. I offer if it's needed. How can an OLTR be attracted to you if she sees you most every day? Because you mean an OLTR wife. Yes, that's a very good question. You need to get the book, The Ultimate Open Marriage Manual. There's about 4 or 5 things you have to do on a regular basis when you live with a woman that most husbands don't do to make sure she maintains that attraction. And they're difficult. You got to keep doing them. I've been able to do them. Pink Firefly, I've been married 7 years now. She's still horny as fuck for me. But I do everything I teach. It's not easy. That's why most men shouldn't do this stuff until they're ready. Are there any other things like video games, movies, etc., better than having sex with multiple women? I didn't say it's better having sex with multiple women. It's better. I'm talking about it's the best is having sex with tens, super hot women who are multiple women. Yes. It's better than, in my opinion, it's better than all those things. Let's see. Movies. Yes, it's better than movies. Video games. Yes. Jerking off to porn. Definitely yes. It's way better to do the real thing. It's better than all those things. I like working, so it's not better than that. I like massages. Those are pretty good. Is it okay to try and build a business and start Alpha 2.0 dating model exactly the same time rather than staggering? Most guys should pick one, most guys should pick one, focus on one, get it to a certain point, then add the second one. Most men. If you are unemployed and you have nothing to do all week, then you could do both at the same time. But if you got a full-time job and bills and a life, and then you're going to build your business and get a bunch of girls, most guys can't do all that all at once. Male friends. That's not a question. You can be more specific. Why are you not allowed to have sex with Pink Firefly's friends? I made that rule, not her. I do that as a courtesy to her. I could do it, but I do that as a courtesy to her. Why am I doing that as a courtesy to her? That will cause drama. Go marry a woman and then fuck her best friend without getting permission and watch what happens. She's going to get mad at you. I don't like drama, so I don't do it. There's, 4 billion women on earth. Why do I have to go after my wife's friends or sister? I don't. And Pink Firefly does not have super hot friends. I've dated other women with a lot of hot friends, and I did fuck them, but she wasn't my OLTR. So that's the reason. But it's not something she said. It's something I said to her. You said that you require your wife to work. I require any important woman in my life to have some of her own income, with rare exception. Yes, correct. That is not an alpha male 2.0 thing. That is a Caleb thing. You do whatever you want in your OLTR. My deal is I'm not going to be your fucking sugar daddy and bust my ass while you go shopping all day and drink tea with your girlfriends. Fuck you. Now, when I talk about something in a few weeks of what I've been doing the past year, I can't talk about. I'll talk a little bit more about that aspect. In 2 or 3 or 4 years, at the income I'll be making at that point, I may not care by then. I may be making so much money I don't care. I'm almost there now, but just philosophically, yeah, I generally feel that way. Moving on. As you are not her sugar daddy, but I want a trophy wife. What? As my mother never had a job, how to separate finances when she is a trophy wife and not work? I have a trophy wife, but she works. Pink Firefly is a trophy wife. When we started planning our wedding, my mom got Pink Firefly a t-shirt that said trophy wife on it because Pink Firefly is a trophy wife. Still works. Trophy wives can work. They don't have to work, like I work. They have to work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. They can work part-time. But You do whatever you want. What did I just say? That's not an alpha male 2.0 rule. That's a Caleb preference. If you want to have your wife and completely take care of her and she never works ever again for the rest of your life, great, go do that. You better be able to afford it. You better have a budget before you move in with anyone and know you can afford that. Wives are expensive. Even when they work, they're expensive. I've written about this by blogs a lot. Men drastically underestimate how expensive wives are, and especially how much kids are, especially today. I once checked a girl's phone. Not good. You shouldn't care about what's on her phone. Outcome independence. And found out she was messaging another man on Instagram. She shouldn't care. She's allowed to do that. She was 23. I was 19, and it broke my heart. Oh, because you were 19. And she never found out. I did. Now I wouldn't care as now I'm 25. Good. Good save on that question. I don't have to yell at you. Good for you. Hey, Caleb, do women really like sex? That's a very dumb question. You sound very sexually experienced. Women derive more pleasure from sex once they're comfortable with the man and their own bodies. That's a big if, more than men do. So let me say that again. Assuming two things: a woman is comfortable with her body, a lot of women aren't, and a woman is 100% comfortable with a man. Sometimes that doesn't happen. Assuming she's comfortable with those two things, she will take more physical pleasure from sex than you will. So yes. If so, why do they turn it down so often, play games, etc., etc.? Thank you for your help. Because women can get laid whenever they want, and you can't. Even fat, ugly girls can get laid whenever they want. So if you got, and so can alpha male 2.0s. We get laid. I get laid whenever I want. So guess what? I'm picky because I can be. You can't get laid whenever you want, so it's confusing to you when you see a woman turn down sex. What the fuck? Don't you want my cock? She's like, I can get your cock and 47 other cocks right now. So I'm picky. You need to play to the tune of my drummer, and then maybe you can fuck my pussy. By the way, that's how I am with women. I'm very picky. Now, I get pickier every year. Now I'm really picky. So I've turned down sex from a lot of women. Not a lot. I've turned down sex from a decent number of women who were attractive because I can be picky. So I'm in the same category as women. So women and alpha males, we can be picky about it. Beta males can't. So become an alpha male 2.0, get a whole bunch of women rotation, get really good at dating girls, and then you can start being picky, just like her. Have you experienced racism in Dubai? I have not. The only place I have personally experienced racism is Japan and Hong Kong. Hong Kong once, Japan a few times. Racism against white people, because Asians are the most racist race. Stupid white Americans have no idea, but it's true. But no, in Dubai, no, never. Can a woman separate emotions from sex? Yes. That's a big misnomer with men. They do all the time. Women fuck men all the time with no emotions, especially younger ones, and some older ones too. Because you hear men and women say that sex for women is more emotional. I know. It's one of the biggest myths on the internet with men. I know. And men is more physical, blah, blah, blah. Okay. No. I've had FBs that went on for years, non-sugar daddy, who never fell in love with me. And I had a few that did. No, you're wrong. It's not true. It's not. Most women who are sexually active can list several men they fucked over and over again, and they never got feelings for. How do you explain that? I think a lot of men use this as an excuse against non-monogamy. Well, that wouldn't work because she'll fall in love with other guys. It's not true. It's not true. HBM, the girlfriend I had for 5.5 years before Pink Firefly, she went through several phases where she fucked a ton of guys while she was dating me. Never fell for any of them. These guys had six-pack abs. These guys were gorgeous. She showed me pictures. Never fell in love with any of them. Stayed loyal to me emotionally 100%. How do you explain that? But she still loved fucking those guys. She went through a phase where she fucked a bunch of black guys. Loved it physically. And these guys would get one-itis and fall in love with her and, oh, meet my parents, even though I fucked you twice. And it's just not true. I was sent a video by a random guy of my girlfriend getting fucked. And she's enjoying it and was saying it feels so good and moaning loud and cum all over her face. Are you making a joke? Let's see here. I can't tell if you're making a joke. We'll see what happens. Come on her face and hammer her house on the couch where I always sit now. When I reminds me of video, I don't even sit on the couch anymore. She thinks I'm weird. I haven't told her, but I love her. What should I do? Any advice? Are you monogamous? I can't help you if you're monogamous. Let me say this for the record for you guys who are new. If you're monogamous, meaning your girlfriend is the only girl you're fucking, don't ask me for any advice. I can't help you because it won't work. If you're monogamous, she's got you by the balls. There's nothing you can do about it other than break up with her. So there's no technique I can give you to help you if you're monogamous other than to either break up with her or convert her to a non-monogamous relationship. I have entire courses on how to do that. It sounds to me like you're monogamous, which means I can't help you. If you're not monogamous, go back to the chat saying, I'm not monogamous. I fucked another girl last week, Caleb. Then I can help you. Alex of Playing with Fire, said that the two-way open relationship is destined for disaster like Destiny on COS cast and podcast, and him being on a one-way is better. Thoughts? Often people, they've done this for 15 years since I've been discussing this on the internet. What they will do is they will point out dumb celebrities who do non-monogamous relationships incorrectly. People have done that hundreds of times on my blogs. Well, this famous athlete tried it, and look what happened to him. And this actor tried it. Look what happened to Will Smith. Yes, if you do this, the vast majority of people who do non-monogamous relationships do them wrong. Totally fucking wrong. Here's the big thing they do wrong. They say, okay, you can fuck other people. I can fuck other people, wife or girlfriend. And then they let their girlfriend or wife go out and like date other guys, spend the night with other guys, get pregnant from other guys, go on trips with other guys, have long conversations, loving romantic conversations with guys on the phone. You can't do that. That doesn't work. You have to have parameters around the sex. That's what OLTR is. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Thousands of men have done it. I have never seen an OLTR open relationship. OLTR now, not some random dumb celebrity like Destiny. OLTR relationship where the woman left the man because the woman fell in love with another man. That has literally never happened with anyone in my audience, to my knowledge. And I have talked to hundreds of men and a lot of women with relationships like this. Not once. I've heard of people breaking up, but not because the woman fell in love with another guy. That has never, I don't mean like 1 or 2%, 0%. Alpha male 2.0, FB, MLTR, OLTR wife models work. Just having an open relationship and just flying by the seat of your pants and just doing what feels right is not going to work. And that's what most people do when they have open or non-monogamous relationships, including dumb celebrities. And it never works. And then everyone points to this, well, see, look what happened to him. See, open relationships don't work. If Destiny had done an OLTR marriage, it would have worked. Or worst case scenario, he would have broken up for drama or some other reason, but not having anything to do with woman falling in love. It would have worked. If Destiny had bought my book and stuck with the models I talk about, he would have been fine. He didn't do that. It's fine. It's okay. Ain't it weird how a lot of these tradcon right-wing women still have a good amount of feminist aesthetic in the way they carry themselves in presentation? Yes, Tommy Lauren. We've been through this. Lauren Southern. All years ago, all these right-wing Trump idiots said, look, Tommy Lauren, see, it's turning back to the right, Caleb, Tommy Lauren. I said, no, watch. Lauren Southern, look what happened to those. So yes, you're correct. It's all BS. Women default to more left-wing governmental views and societal views. And that's just how they're wired, and that's okay. And you accept them, but you don't say, oh, she's a conservative now. She's going to help save America because she's Tommy Lauren. Then Tommy Lauren does a big video about how men are trash. I did a whole deep dive on it. You can watch it on this channel. You say that your wife does not sleep with other men, but how do you know, as you'll need to monitor her so you'll never 100% know that she is not sleeping with other men? Trust. I've known Pink Firefly for 10 years. I know her extremely well. If she was lying to me, I would eventually know. Not immediately, but eventually. She doesn't lie to me. Why would you marry a woman you didn't trust? One of the requirements for OLTR is she demonstrates, not says, demonstrates a high level of trust. You can see that you trust her. So when she fucks up and does bad things, she tells me, even if she doesn't want to. So I would know. Now, if you just start dating some random girl for a few weeks and she says, I'm not fucking other guys, yeah, then you have no idea. But if you've been married to someone for 10 years, or 7 in my case, you know. That's how I know. Also, she would have no reason to lie. She would have reason to lie to me to say she was fucking other men when she wasn't, because I'm fucking other women. She has no reason to lie to me. She knows I wouldn't care. How to use science, biology, statistics, and facts to destroy people time and time again with the monogamy doesn't work debate. Go watch the video on the Alpha Male 2.0 YouTube channel, 47 objections to monogamy. I use all the data and facts there. Just go for that video. Why do guys feel the need to show receipts, showing pictures, videos of the women they had sex with and the other guys, and sometimes online when it's well aware that it can easily backfire on you? They don't think that through. They don't think that through. The bigger reason is most of those guys are just haters and black pill angry guys. If you showed receipts, they'd say, if I showed pictures, say, well, how do I know you fucked her? All right, fine. You want to see video? Yeah, I want to see video. Okay, you show video. Well, you probably paid her. She probably hook her. You can't satisfy those people. They're just there to be mad at people who get laid or say they get laid. There are some people on the internet who say they get laid who don't. And the way I view that, in terms of if they're telling the truth or not, how long have they been talking on the internet about getting laid? How long have I been talking about getting laid and using specific examples? 15 years straight. What are the odds that I'm lying about even a little bit of this? I'm making all this shit up. Now, if I would be if I was some new guy in the last 6 months, yeah, who knows if I'm telling the truth. Other guys in the dating space, pickup artist space, red pill space, manosphere space, who I don't like, I'm not going to mention names, but who I don't like, but I trust them because they've been talking about their dating experiences for like 10 years. Okay, they're probably not lying. Or, or not lying. Maybe they're embellishing little details here and there, maybe at the most. It's the guys who are brand new. Some brand new guy comes out of nowhere and says, I fucked 40 million girls. Well, then how the fuck do I know? So that's how I view it. But these guys don't go through that logic. They're just angry. I saw a video of a cute 22-year-old chick getting fucked in the office and got extremely aroused. I've seen 1 or 2 of those videos. Those are pretty good. Now I have a fantasy to do it in the office with her. Okay, great. Is this weird? No. Why would that be weird? Do it. As she is someone's sloppy seconds. Oh, you want to fuck her specifically in the office? Why is that weird? No, go ahead. Fuck what you like. Don't worry about, is it weird? Oh, the only question you ask is it legal? Ask that question. As long as it's legal, no other parameter met. Is this weird? Does this make me a beta? Is this gross? Do what you like. If you like women shitting on your chest and then peeing on your face, that turns you on, go do it. Fuck society. Society doesn't care about you, so do whatever you want as long as it's legal. The only rule for you should be, is it legal where you are? Where you are, and laws vary depending on the city. Okay, so make sure it's legal. But other than that, there's no such question as, is it weird? Is it appropriate? Should I do this? Should I do that? Do what you like as long as it's legal. Fine. Okay, hang on. I once cold approached a hot chick at the bar and I froze, not knowing what to say. I've never had that problem, but okay. As I was nervous, then she went back to her friends and they all laughed at me. Any advice to not let this bother me? Stop thinking about one-time scenarios. Whenever you start thinking about it, you say cancel, 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 and you move your hand like this, like a cutting motion. Cancel, cancel, and then reframe it. Think about something else. Just stop thinking about it. That's it. Would you cancel an appointment with your FB if your OLTR calls you 30 minutes before that appointment to spend time with you? Only if she had a good reason. If she had a really good reason, I would. She didn't have a good reason, like, no, I'm busy. I'll see you in 3 hours. But if she had a really good reason to see me, hey, something came up, I got to, sure. Depends the reason, not that she's an OLTR. OLTR has to respect my time too. All women need to respect my time. All women, including my wife. She has to respect my time. You don't respect my time, get the fuck out. That's as bad. Not respecting my time is as bad as giving me drama. You don't want to give me drama. You'll be out. So, no. What to do when okay, hang on a second. Oh, shit. Why is this not? Okay, hang on. I got to pause the video here. My laptop is about to. I didn't plug in the power for some reason. What the hell? Hang on 1 second. I'll be back in a minute. Shit. Can't believe I didn't do that. Hang on. All righty. Sorry about that. I was rearranging some stuff in my office here the other day, and I forgot that I moved the fucking power supply for the laptop. Hang on. Need some more agua. That is not agua. Oh, I had a good day today. All right, sorry. Back to your questions. I have I can do a few more questions. Then I got to Vamonos. Let's see. Where the hell am I here? God, you're asking more questions? Shit. Okay, hang on. I was just thinking. Hey, Caleb, you really like sex. Okay. Guys feel the need. Approach a hot chick at a bar. Would you? Here we go. Okay. What to do? Let me zoom this up. What to do? Shit. Hang on. I just lost the question again. God damn hell. Fuck me. I moved again. These fucking questions. All right. God damn you, StreamYard. All right. What to do when a rotation says over text that she does not want to hang out because she does not feel like it? Is this a sign I'm a bitch? Huh? Is this a sign that you're a bitch? You, the man, is a bitch? No. It depends on these kind of things. Depend on if it's a one-time thing or a pattern of behavior. If she's never done that in her life, she's being a girl. Girls are moody, and every day they feel different about shit. She could be PMSing. Who knows? If she's regularly doing this, dump her ass or downgrade her. So I wouldn't worry about it one time. Do you feel sleepy after sex? As I'm lazy and I feel like I fall asleep right after sex. I'm a little drained after I have sex and I orgasm, of course. But it lasts a minute or two and I'm fine. I don't feel sleepy after sex, but I'm a high energy guy that does literally everything right. I never drink alcohol. I've never been drunk in my entire life. I've never smoked anything in my entire life. I don't even drink coffee. I take no drugs my entire life. I drink buckets of water all day. My testosterone levels are those of an 18-year-old man. I exercise 4 times a week. I have frequent sex. I get 8.5 hours of sleep. I do everything perfect for my energy levels, so I don't have that problem. Likely, one or more of those things I just listed do not apply to you, so that's why you feel sleepy after sex. That's the price you pay if you don't have your shit together. But that's up to you. It's lifestyle choice. I need to have my energy to accomplish the goals that I want. I have to. I mean, it's 10:30 p.m. where I am right now. Do I look like I have low energy today? No. Even when I'm like a little sleepy, I have high energy. This other girl I was seeing smashing for a few months randomly said that she thought we had different goals for a relationship. We don't care what women say. We only care what women do. What could have brought this on? I don't think you should care. Was my bed game too weak? You're overthinking this. I don't think it matters. What brought it on is probably you haven't asked her to be her girlfriend yet, which is good. That could be a good sign, not a bad sign. Was everyone having multiple sexual partners in the Bible from what you know, or was it just the Old Testament and just the king? It was the Old Testament. It wasn't the New Testament. Jesus is not going to talk about banging chicks, right? It's the Old Testament. It wasn't everyone in the Bible. No, tend to be wealthier people in the Bible, which is accurate. Let me say this again. I've said this 10,000 times. The entire human race was non-monogamous until the year about 300. So 7,000 years of civilization, 150,000 years, you go back to like agrarian times and shit, they were non-monogamous. Only around the year 300, which is only 2,000 years ago, out of the last 7,000/150,000, did people start to get monogamous. And the only reason they did it is because the emperor of Rome, Constantine, said, you have to be monogamous now. People said, okay. Human beings not monogamous. Why people in the United States are afraid of black guys, I never understood why. Is it because they lack confidence to defend themselves? I know white and Asian guys who can fight and not be afraid. Well, white guys are pussies. I've said this many times. White guys are pussies. So they're afraid of all kinds of things, including big black men, you know. What happened to HBM? Why didn't it work out as an OLTR? She was never quite an OLTR. We never quite had the OLTR talk. I never quite committed to emotional exclusivity with her, but I did treat her like a girlfriend and identified her as a girlfriend. And we spent 3 days a week together. And she met my parents and all that stuff. So super high-end MLTR. And I called her my girlfriend and she called me her boyfriend. It was okay. So de facto OLTR. Why didn't it work? 2 reasons. One, she started giving me drama. We went on a trip to Canada once and she laid into me. I'm like, I don't do this. You're playing with fire here. You don't give me drama. You'll never see me again. I don't care. Filipino. She was very fiery. She was Filipina, but she looked Japanese. In other words, she was perfect, like the perfect Asian woman. Filipina, horny Filipino girl with curves, but with the face of a Japanese girl. And she wanted kids, and she wanted them soon. I'm like, I don't want more kids. I already had little kids back then. So that's why. She broke up with me. We broke up. Did she break up with me or I break up with her? I don't remember now. I think she broke up with me. I was like, all right. Within 1 year, she married a guy, beta male guy who works at Intel, who looks just like me. And my whole family was like, he looks just like you, because they saw her on Facebook. She has a boyfriend who looks just like you. Like, I know. And immediately had 1 or 2 kids. Does she have 2 kids now? I think she still has 1 kid. She had a kid. So she got everything she wanted. And then he cheated on her. And then she cheated on him with me. Monogamy doesn't work. Human beings are not monogamous species. Correct. But jealousy is also an evolved feature in humans. For males, it is to ensure paternity, to claim that everyone is fucking everyone, to ensure paternity. Right. That's called, read my books. That's called obsolete biological wiring. You can go to Walgreens for $20 and get a paternity test and know your kid is yours. You can get an NIPP as soon as she gets pregnant within 8 weeks of pregnancy, where they just draw a little blood and you spit in a thing and you will immediately know if that baby is yours. Technology solved that problem. This is not the 1800s. So the biological desire is now outdated and stupid. It just makes you unhappy. Moving on to your question, your claim that everyone was fucking everybody is completely wrong. That's an exaggeration. And I think it's an exaggeration. Not literally, but a lot of people were fucking other people. Human beings were not monogamous until the year 300. Even after year 300, people were cheating on each other left and right, all throughout the 50s, 60s, 70s. Yes. If you think human beings were 100% monogamous until I came along, you're completely wrong. And again, you sound very young and very naive. You need to do more research. Age changing and height changing on apps makes sense, especially in smaller metros. You will max up your app's audience with 6'5" and 35 age stated, but the truthful age in height and bio. Yes, I've said this. I wouldn't put 6'5" if you're 5'10". I wouldn't do that. But yes, you could fudge these numbers a little, but you put a real age in your bio, or you tell her on the first date, or you tell her when you schedule the first date, so she's not shocked. That's okay. As long as you come clean about it. You say we should stay out of Europe. But Josh is telling guys in his channel to go to Europe. Isn't that kind of hypocritical? Why? I say don't go to Europe. And I mean it. Don't go to Europe. Josh isn't me. Josh is Josh. He can say whatever he wants. I said college is stupid. My son Josh went to college. Was that hypocritical? No, he was an adult. He can make his own decisions. How is that hypocritical? It's hypocritical if I said stay out of Europe and then I lived in Europe. That would be hypocritical. So your question makes no sense. Josh and I are not the same person. He's his own man. He can make his own decisions. Why not make fucking hot girls our business? Why not make fucking hot girls our business like an OnlyFans or porn site? You could. First of all, you're not going to compete with OnlyFans. Sorry. They've captured that fucking market. They just started their first OnlyFans TV show with Whitney Cummings. OnlyFans is a behemoth. You're not competing against OnlyFans. If you want to start your own porn website, again, Pornhub, you're going into a very saturated market. The only way that would work is if you are very, what am I saying? What am I about to say? If you're very niched. If you're only doing porn where like you shit on women's heads, okay, that would work. If you're super weird niched, then it would work. Otherwise, it's not worth it. The window for that has passed. I remember talking to guys in the early 2000s, buddies of mine who had porn websites back in the early 2000s. They were making money like you wouldn't fucking believe. Because back then it was easy. Now you got to be hyper niched. It's like going into fitness. Why not start a fitness website? Same answer. How did your former nun mother react to your Casanova alpha male 2.0 lifestyle? She hated it. I've told this story many times. I'll summarize it. In around 2010, after she saw several 18-year-olds leave my house, she started yelling at me in my house about, why can't you find a nice girl and stop having all this sex with all these girls? I said, Mom, you bring that up one more time, you're not going to see me for 2 years. You're not going to see me for Christmas this year. So you say whatever, Alpha Male 2.0, you say whatever you want. You talk about that one more time, you're not going to see me for 2 years. Try me. She never brought it up ever again. Then, when I married Pink Firefly, she was super happy. She doesn't care I fuck other women now. She just wants me to be married. And I am. So she was like, thank God Caleb finally got married. Has a good wife. So that calmed her down. She knows about my lifestyle, but she doesn't care. Plus, my mom is much more liberal now. That was, 15 years ago, right? My mom gets more and more left-wing the older she gets, like many Americans. I'm very ashamed for leading that girl on, not telling her about my girlfriend. Yeah, you should be. She brought up having unprotected sex and everything, and I said I need to be better in the future. I learned a valuable lesson. Just don't do it again. Mistakes are made so you don't repeat them. There's nothing wrong with a mistake as long as you don't do it again. Like, for example, you vote for a guy who says he's going to build a wall, make America great again, and then he doesn't, and you're going to do it again. That would be insane. Now, you would never do something that's stupid, you guys. I know none of you would ever do that because you're smart. You would never do that. The point of mistakes is never make them again. Is it cool to plan out 15 minutes like David Goggins or Elon Musk taking 1 to 2 hours per day? That is a myth. Now, David Goggins might do that. Elon Musk does not do that. He came out a year or two after people were doing that and said, I've never done that. That was a random internet myth that people caught on and thought Elon Musk was doing 15-minute blocks or 5-minute blocks. He doesn't do that. Are all billionaires evil? Because it sure seems like it. The word all is rarely true. All? No. Most billionaires are guys you've never heard of. Guys are worth $1 billion, $2 billion, $3 billion. Are normal guys you've never heard of. When you say billionaires, you think of Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates and Soros, these evil left-wing billionaires are trying to take over the earth and we hate them all. That's a very small percentage of billionaires. So I've noticed when people say billionaires, they're talking about the upper 2 or 3% of billionaires, not normal billionaires who you've never heard of. Most billionaires are just, billionaires. I think the claim you made everybody was fucking everybody. That was not my claim. I was making a joke. Came from the book Sex at Dawn. Nope. That book did say that, but that book was debunked. A lot of that stuff was debunked from that book. I have not read a single credible book that says that humans were in open relationship with no jealousy in the past. I didn't say with no jealousy. You're putting words in my mouth. I never said no jealousy. I said, and I didn't say open relationship. I didn't say human beings for 7,000 years said, okay, wife, you can fuck other men and I can fuck other women. They would just cheat or fuck other people and they'd argue about it. But they were not monogamous. If you cheat, you're not monogamous. And I didn't say no jealousy. A lot of people were jealous. Can you briefly break down what would happen during a Trump or Kamala administration and how it'll affect us A2 Americans? You need to watch the video I did several weeks ago at the Unchained CEO called Elections Don't Matter. Who the president is will not affect you, Alpha Male 2.0s, in any way. Kamala wins, Trump wins. It'll not affect you, Alpha 2.0s, in any way. America will continue to collapse and you need to get the fuck out. And monogamy still won't work. The first time around, we had guys in the red pill. I'm not going to mention names because I can mention several names who literally said in 2016, if Trump wins, it'll be easier for guys to get laid because women will be nicer to men. They literally said this shit. No. America's fucked. The culture will continue to go to the left. Economics will get worse. Culture will get worse. The entire Western world will get worse. Kamala or Trump, nothing major will happen. If Trump cuts some taxes, he'll do what he did last time and cut my taxes. I make 7 figures. High income people, he's not going to cut your taxes. So it's not going to affect anything. And watch that video. How it doesn't matter who the president is. Go watch that video. I gave you specific data points. Best looking woman in Eastern Europe you'd recommend us dating, not Russians. Many. Ukrainians are hot. Estonians are hot. Latvians are hot. Romanians are hot. Lots. Some of them are more difficult than others. Some of them have that Russian coldness. Not as bad as Russians, but some. There are a lot of hot Eastern European women. If you want low maintenance, easier women, you go to South America, not Eastern Europe. When Tupac was alive, was he really that famous as I was not even born when he was alive? Also, how was Michael Jackson as I was too young? Now these singers suck with some exceptions. You're correct about Tupac. You're incorrect about Michael Jackson. Tupac was not famous worth a goddamn shit when he was alive. You're right. Was he a famous rapper? Yes. But if you were a normal American, you didn't know who Tupac was. You knew him as that guy in that Janet Jackson movie with the postal truck. What was that movie? Because she was so hot in that movie. Poetic Justice. You want to see my opinion of one of the hottest black women in the world is Janet Jackson in like the early 90s, because she was really curvy. Late in a few years, she lost a bunch of weight and got real skinny and lost her boobs and lost her ass. Very sad. But in that movie, she was hot and she looks very black. She's like dreadlocks and shit. He was in that movie. So yeah, he was not. When he died, he became much more famous and people revered him. Michael Jackson was super fucking famous. He was the Elvis of the 80s. I grew up in the 80s. It was Michael Jackson everywhere. Everyone worshiped that guy. And most of the 90s too. The 90s, they started to think he's weird. Mid 90s, but 80s, my God, they worshiped him. So he was fucking famous as fuck. Yes. When he was alive. Don't cheat at least 2 women while building a business. Yes. How are you supposed to focus if you're not getting laid? So handle women life first. That is generally what I say, but there can be exceptions. Depends on your scenario, but that is generally exactly what I say. Get 2 women on rotation, get them nice and locked in, start your business. That's generally my advice. It seems like a man in an OLTR could emotionally manage dating MLTRs, but an OLTR wife could only handle FBs. It seems like a man in an OLTR could emotionally manage dating MLTRs, but I can only handle FBs. Well, first of all, you're violating the model if you do that. If you have an OLTR, you can't have MLTRs. No, I don't agree, because men get one-itis. Women don't get one-itis. Men do. There are exceptions. There are some weird women that get one-itis. Men get one-itis as a default setting. So what'll happen is, and this happens a lot, when men cheat on their wives, they start dating another woman, not fucking another woman, start dating another woman. I've seen this happen many times in my personal life with people I know. They fall in love with they get one-itis for the other woman. And they're too pussy to divorce the wife. And the wife finds out, and it's like, it's really bad. It's a nuclear explosion. He's not just cheating. He's in a relationship with another woman. Why do you think Melania Trump slaps her husband's hand away when he tries to hold her hand? It's because of Catherine McDougal. It's not because of Stormy Daniels. He just fucked her once. Catherine McDougal. Go look up that shit, what he did with her. He dated her as a girlfriend for like a year while Melania was pregnant with their baby. Oh, Trump's a hot mess. How can I have sex with an OLTR be vanilla? Oh, how often can sex with OLTR be vanilla? I assume they mostly want vanilla with exception. I don't care what they want. It's what you want. Fuck the way you like. Now, if she says, ew, I hate fucking that way, I don't want to fuck that way, why did you make her your OLTR? That is your fault. Pink Firefly fucks the way I want to fuck. And she did that before we were married. I knew what I was getting into. And she did too. So your question makes no sense. Seems like an OLTR husband can emotionally... Okay, you already asked that. Why do you think 79 to 80% of women in the modern era are bisexual to a degree? Well, that's a guess. My classic number is 60%, but I said that 10 years ago. Now we have woke Gen Z it's like cool to be gay now. So that's why it's gone up from 60%. I don't know what the number is. I'm right about that. The vast majority of modern day Western women are bisexual to some degree. They are horny for other women to some degree. Women who are completely disgusted at the thought of kissing or getting sexual with another really pretty girl are the exception to the rule. Pink Firefly is one of them, but she's an exception. The majority of women, modern day Western women now, maybe they don't want to fuck another girl, but they want to make out with a girl, play with her boobs, certain types of girls. Or maybe they don't want to go down on a girl, but they want her to go down on her. They want her to go down on her. Yeah, it's true. When is it a good idea to go to college? Never, unless you're planning on being a doctor. That's the literal answer. In 2024, the only people who should go to college are people who are going to be doctors. Then you better be an alpha male 2.0 location independent doctor outside the insurance system. That's it. If you're not planning on being a doctor, you should not go to college. Period. That's for people who want jobs the rest of their lives, not for alpha 2.0s who want to be free and have your own location independent business. In the business world, no one cares what your college degree is. I have never been asked ever. I think once when I was in my 20s, where'd you go to college? From a client or a business call. They don't care. In a job scenario, they care. Moving on. What if it's for a skill that allows you to have the option to be self-employed or to be self-employed? That question makes no sense. You can be self-employed without going to college. Look at me. I didn't go to college. Bill Gates dropped out of college. He was self-employed. I think he made it work, right? What skills do you consider as S tier worth learning and ones that aren't worth learning, whether for a business career or a career? Well, the number of skills not worth learning are too many for me to list. Skills worth learning, the biggest one is time management. Like I talked about earlier. Any tips for paleo-compatible meal planning for the week? So here's what I've tried and failed to do. And now that I'm back here in Dubai, I gained some weight in Mexico and I haven't lost it off yet. I got to do that. So now's the time. So I hired a meal delivery service. Okay. And they have keto, paleo. They have all these options. Chose keto because it's my favorite. My body is the best with keto. I feel better with keto and I like keto. But I don't eat sugar. I stopped eating sugar a year and a half ago. It's great. So their shit comes with sugar. It's in the sauce. They have like Asian sauce and like curry. Curry has sugar. I'm like, God damn it, it says sugar in it. Fuck. So I talked to my assistant yesterday. I said, look, I hired a delivery service. This isn't working because it got sugar. I want to hire, because in Paraguay, everyone does this because it's cheap to do in Paraguay. So I've got this in my head now from Paraguay. I want to hire a chef who either comes over to my home or in their own home, makes me 5 days worth of food. Even if it's 2 meals a day, that's fine. I don't care. 5 days of food, 6 days of food, all in a huge hunk, brings it over on Sunday, and I'm covered for the week. And I want them to make it to my specifications. So I'm outsourcing meal prep. I don't want to do meal prep. So we'll see. Sunday, we're going to discuss that. So, and that'll be basically my diet is keto plus fruit, no sugar, no added sugar. My diet is keto plus fruit. That's my diet. My body does the best with that. No sugar, no added sugar. I know there's sugar in fruit. I get it. Thank you. No unnatural sugar, what they call added sugar. What's your take on the idea that all men just pay for sex? I have a whole blog post on that. Just read that article. I address that whole thing just in different ways. Yeah, go to the Alpha Male 2.0 blog and go to the archive. This is a giant list, and just hit Control F and type "pay for sex." It's right there. I address all that. What movies would you consider as the ones with the most life lessons or teachings? There's a few. I'd have to think about that. I'd have to think. That's one of those questions I really think about. The one that comes to mind is Braveheart. It's about freedom. So that's one, but there's a bunch. My favorite movie the last few years, what few movies there are. So the only good movies now are movies outside of the Hollywood system, independent films. You guys need to watch this. I've seen it like 3 times now. I'm addicted to this movie. Blackberry. It's fantastic. It's not a Hollywood movie. It's an independent movie from Canada, because Blackberry was a Canadian company. One of the best I like business movies. One of the best fucking and funniest business movies I've ever seen in my life. It is so good. God, I should watch that movie again. It's so great. Is getting into spirituality nowadays a waste of time or useful for modern life? Only if you're over the age of 50. And I said that 25 years ago when I was 25. So I could do it. I'm not gonna. If you're over the age of 50, men who embrace spirituality when they're under the age of 50 just embrace a religion which is false societal programming and fucks up their lives and makes them angry all the time. No religion, no spirituality until you're in your 50s or 60s. 60s better. When you're old and have some wisdom, then you can embrace spirituality. Then I think it makes a lot of sense. I have not done that yet, but I will in a few years, in my mid 50s or so. How is dating in European countries compared to the US in terms of standards and the ideology of women? Not radically different. They're all Western. There's no radical difference between dating a Western European woman and a Western woman. Oh, they are Western women. An American woman versus a Western European. There are some differences with dating Eastern European women. More traditional, more demanding, more gold digger-ish. So be aware. Certainly if they're Russians. Less so with Eastern Europeans, but they still have some of that. So if you're going to date an Eastern European non-Russian, you need to do a lot more screening. You got to be a lot more careful. You need to ask questions and watch for things she says and asks. There's a really funny short video I saw of a comedian here in Dubai. He's talking to a Russian girl, and he's like trying to convince her to date him. He's like a beta. They're like playing a part. And he's like, so what if we go in 50-50 in this relationship? So 50-50, you pay 50% of the bills, I pay 50%. She goes, 50-50? He goes, yeah, 50-50. Yes, perfect. He goes, oh, great. She says, yes. You get 50, you give me 50% of your money, 50% of your house, 50% of your assets. Yes. He's like, well, that's not what she goes, yes. He's like, well, what about what I bring to the table? She goes, what do you bring to the table? Russian. Thick. What do you bring to the table? She's like, well, I will protect you. I do not need your protection. I am Russian. I mean, it just goes all, it's so funny. And it's accurate too. It's really good. You say that Mexico is not dangerous flag, but 37 presidential candidates were murdered in a few months. Should I move? Show me your link. Show the link. I've never heard this. 30, all just now. And again, what did I say about Mexico? I said it's not dangerous to you. I didn't say no one gets murdered in Mexico. That's not what I said. I said if you're an American or Canadian or Western moving to Mexico, you're fine. Nobody wants to kill you. Are you a government employee? Are you a political dissident? Are you involved in the cartels? No, then you're fine. You kind of, assuming you're right, and I don't think you are, but show me your link. You're proving my point, assuming you're right. Presidential candidates were murdered. Okay, are you a presidential candidate? What have I said 10,000 times? I'm the only person who says this. Andrew Henderson said that. You don't move to another country and then get involved in their politics. Well, of course you'll get in trouble. That's so stupid. You wouldn't do that. You're fine. So you don't need to move. No. My son Josh lives in Guadalajara. Right now he's in Thailand. Spend a lot of time in Europe too. Guadalajara is one of my flags. It's awesome. All right. How we doing on time here? Oh, fuck. It's been 2 hours. I have to go. I'll see you guys for next week for the live stream, which I forget what the topic is, for Unchained CEO on Monday. And then hopefully, if Amazon and Audible get their shit together next week, or this week, I should say, we can talk about the new Unchained band next week. Otherwise, it'll be the week after. I keep pushing it back. We'll see. All right, cool. See you soon. Bye.